Welcome to Samuels.here channel. Kevin Samuels was truly a truth seeker, and after many years of educating both men and women of all races, but particularly those of African descent, in the art of navigating the ever-complex dating world, he was sadly ripped from our lives as he was called back home to the Almighty in 2022. Some of us, myself included, instinctively recognized the truth of his message. Many found his message rather unpalatable. I am hoping with this channel to make his message that little bit more digestible in a more feminine and softer manner. I hope this helps my sisters in the Black community who saw him as an enemy. Being Black myself, I hope I can bridge that gap. And oh, by the way, my father was also called Samuel, so in a twist of fate, I pay tribute with this channel to my father, who is also where Kevin has gone. I love how the Icelandic have a way of acknowledging someone's daughter in the same way as someone's son. So I appropriate the Icelandic way to find a suitable name for my channel, Samuels.here, Samuel's daughter. Enjoy the video.
What's the issue you have?
Okay, so I met a guy on Tinder in January, and every week we would meet once a week, and we would just go out to a park, get food, and then fool around a bit. But there was no sex. We didn't.
No sex?
Well, I'm a very conservative person.
Okay.
So
I was just being clear.
Yeah, so I told him that I want to take it slow. I want to build a good emotional connection with you first before I go there. And he's not used to that. He's used to, having
so you met him in January?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so what's the issue?
He told me that he would wait for me because he really liked me and all that. And then our last date was on Valentine's, and we did the same kind of dates we did in January, which is going...
and you haven't heard from him since?
No, he's just been very distant because...
How old is he?
He's 30.
How old are you?
I'm 27.
How old do you anticipate having him wait?
Sorry?
How long do you anticipate having him wait?
Well, actually, he broke up with me via text message on Friday.
Okay, so
I reached out to him.
Right, but so the situation is what? You want him back?
I want to maintain a good friendship with him.
You weren't friends. You weren't friends. You've known this guy for a month. You're putting all kind of importance on somebody that you met in January.
But I just feel like we have a good connection.
Well, that's what you feel. He wanted. Okay, if you feel like you have a good connection, then why didn't you want to take it to the physical level?
Why I didn't?
Why didn't you? Yes.
Because I want to take things slow.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's all about what you want. See how selfish this is? I want to take it slow. I want you to be on my terms according to my thing. And then when he breaks it off, you still want something that's not there. It's very selfish.
But how about if he leaves me after
well, then buy a cat, buy a dog, and die alone. Relationships are risks. I don't know what you ladies expect. You want guarantees.
I have to admit, I don't really find anything wrong with this woman's behavior so far. I'm not sure that she's done anything wrong, in fact. And it's clear that she wanted something more from this man, not necessarily sexual, which it doesn't have to be, certainly from a woman's side. I think to want a slow friendship with someone that she actually, I think, clearly had a sexual attraction for, but was showing restraint, which is good. So I think, she's done nothing wrong. The only possible mistake is Tinder. Is that the correct place to find a man who shows restraint? I'm not sure. Maybe someone should educate me on this. I thought Tinder was associated with casual hookups and stuff. So if she's done something wrong, maybe that is that is the mistake, right? To expect something better on Tinder. But that's just my take on it. But then I'm perhaps a little bit ignorant about the current dating apps and things. Yeah. So please feel free to correct me if I'm talking rubbish.
What if you don't like him and you break his heart? Do you expect him to just be all right with that, right?
I wouldn't.
Doesn't matter. No, of course, because women are always the innocent ones. But at a 52% divorce rate, 70 to 80% of breakups are initiated by women. Ma'am. The man said he liked you.
Yes.
And he dated you for a month.
Yes.
How long before you were intending to have sex with him? He's 30 years old. He's not a virgin. Ballpark it for me.
Maybe 2 months in.
Did you tell him that?
No, but I told him I had bad experiences with men in the past.
Well, there you go. Ding, 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 ding. Making a man in your present pay for stuff in your past equals no future.
But it is part of
your problem.
It's like a trauma, right? So
okay, due respect, your problem. The world doesn't owe you and me understanding. Come out, put your big girl panties on, and grow up. Please tell me you're addressing your trauma with a professional therapist. Exactly. The world doesn't owe you understanding. This is what I mean. Modern women have been painted into. You want to be modern women with all the freedoms and everything else, then freedom comes with responsibility, accountability, and consequences. You're 27 years old. You want a person who's not married to you to understand your traumas that you're doing nothing about. No, thank you. That's a fully formed man who has a life to live. Listen, that is a fully formed man who has a responsibility to live his life. You may be a perfectly lovely woman. And honestly, the cool thing would have been to say, I think you're nice. And when you get your shit together, I love to date you if I'm single. But until then, I'm keep it moving. But that's not where most people are. It's all about you, ma'am. You're not doing anything about your issues. And I'll be honest, man, most men don't want to deal with women who have issues. You shouldn't be out here dating until you address your traumas. You wouldn't expect a man to be out dating if he had traumas, would you? Would you want to deal with his? Oh!
I rebuke.
Would you?
No, but...
Would you?
How about if he leaves me after I do it? Because I don't know if he...
What do you mean? If he lose you, what do you mean? If he lose you after you do what?
After we get intimate.
Okay, are you a virgin?
No.
Okay, well then
I've had that done in the past before where...
I'm sorry, man. Well, okay, well then here's the thing. Very reasonable. But if a guy is with you, here's the thing what you ladies need to understand. If a man just wants to hit and quit, he's gonna leave. If you wanna, there's no guarantees, man. I'm sorry. You could leave him after have sex too. What do you want? You don't want to get hurt. I get it. No one does. This is why you buy a dog or a cat and a battery operated friend and don't deal with men. Or you put on your big girl panties and get out here and play in the game.
Perhaps what this woman is guilty of is a little bit of naivety. She is 27. It's a little bit older, I think, to be thinking the way she does. Yes, but it's not exactly a crime. I think her crime here was to expect a male friend of just 1 or 2 months, maybe it was even just 1 month, wasn't it, to be her therapist, to tell him that she's had a trauma. It's really to confide some pretty intimate information to someone you've known for a month. So I think that was a bit naive on her part. And he probably assessed the information he gave her she gave him rather, and decided, no, this is too complicated for me. And he wasn't getting sex anyway, so he took off. Now, I don't necessarily think she's done anything wrong. As you know, I repeat this because it's important for young women to know there will be times when a man doesn't get what he wants and he will leave. Let him go. It's okay. You know, it's fine. But there is still some reflection to do. Next time, she shouldn't just give away this information. It's private. She should seek her own personal help for it, you know, as Kevin says, with the therapist, but not to make the man be the therapist. He cannot hold two functions with her. He's either her romantic interest or her male friend that listens to her deep emotional personal issues. A man can't be both, especially at the beginning of a relationship. So I think that's where she went wrong, and she should just learn from this and move on. Maybe that wasn't the right guy. Maybe that wasn't the right dating app anyway. But correct me if I'm wrong on that.
If I approach him now and
Ma'am,
say,
he's done with you. Okay, if you approach him, my personal opinion, you burn that bridge.
okay,
Because why would you approach him now and say, you know what, that sex I didn't want to give you, if you come back, I'll give it to you. No, thank you.
because he said he would wait for me, and
Well, he doesn't owe you. Okay, and he said he'd wait for you. So what? You're not married. Why does this man owe you anything, ma'am?
no, he doesn't. But I want to still maintain contact with him. I want to maintain a friendship at least. So
How do you maintain contact with somebody who doesn't want contact with you? Ma'am, I'm gonna be honest, ma'am. You need therapy, and this is not a bad thing.
But do you think he'll come back around or no?
Okay.
Like, do you think it's fine?
Listen, okay? You may be a lovely woman, but this reeks of kind of desperation. It's unattractive. You're 27 years old and you're going through life guarded, trying to protect yourself against hurt because of past traumas. Then you don't need to be out here amongst healthy people dating. You're damaged. That's okay, but deal with your damage. If you had a car, what state do you live in?
I'm in Canada.
Huh?
Canada.
Do you have a vehicle?
Yeah.
Do you have to have a vehicle that passes any sort of inspection to have it on the road?
Yes.
Right. And if it doesn't pass that inspection, you're not supposed to drive it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a danger to others.
Yeah.
You're out here and you're not passing inspection. You're a danger to others. But because you got to go where you got to go, damn everybody else.
I wouldn't quite put it so harshly. She's not a danger to others. No, I think that's a bit harsh for Mr. Samuels. You see, this is what my whole channel is about. It's about softening the blow a little bit. You know, this is by no means the worst case scenario we have touched on in all the videos I have done so far. So I think he's a little bit harsh with her. But I think he's trying to be very fatherly to her. You know, many people would immediately spot the harshness, the brutality of his words. Especially we women, we have a way with emotional reactions to words, especially not so much to vision, not so much to sight, which is, I think, a man's game. We are very sensitive to words. Remember that when dealing with us. That's just a friendly little tip for the XY individuals amongst us, huh? Okay, so it sounds very, very harsh, and this is exactly the kind of accusations that Mr. Samuels used to have to deal with all the time from women. She is a little bit damaged, yes, but I wouldn't go so far as to say, look, you're like a car that doesn't pass the MOT, you know, that's a bit too much. So anyway, he is trying to give her good advice. We shouldn't overlook the good advice because of the overall brutality of the individual words he's using. This is the point of my whole channel. Listen to the good advice, ladies and gentlemen who want to hear the advice being given to women by Kevin Samuels. Listen to the advice. Try to decode the advice. Try to, fluff away all the harsh words, if possible. I know it's hard, but this is a good example of why I have my channel. This kind of brutality is hard to take. She would really feel those words now, especially as it seems so personal. He's not just talking about all women, he's directing his words directly at her.
But you need to pass inspection.
But after a month, I don't know this
ma'am,
person.
He could have been okay, ma'am, how about this? He could have been the perfect guy for you, but you're not ready.
So he would meet me where?
No. See, that's that bullshit. No, absolutely not. That's the Disney fantasy that you ladies have been sold. That's this perfect guy who's healthy and ready to go will wait for you, a woman who's not doing anything about her existing traumas, to figure her shit out. Absolutely not. Because if we switched that situation and said you are a perfectly healthy woman, marriage-minded, looking to find a husband to go make some babies, and you ran into a guy who has his traumas and everything else, any woman would say you'd be a fool to wait for him to get himself together. Anybody would say that.
You shouldn't have been talking shit.
But women emotionally bond.
I don't give a damn, ma'am. You keep giving yourself excuses.
I just don't think I know a person fully to trust them to give.
Well, then don't deal with them.
In a month.
Okay, then, ma'am, buy a dog, die alone. Because you're not doing anything about your issues. I understand your issue, but you're not doing anything about your trust issues.
I am, by being more cautious. So
no. And I got a real simple question for you. Ready?
Yes.
How's that working for you?
It's hard to find men that will wait for me.
Because you don't deserve to be waited for. Point blank, period. Why does anyone need to wait for a damaged woman who's not working through her traumas?
I don't think that I'm damaged. It's just that.
Okay, ma'am, the woman. Okay, ma'am, you just said I've been hurt by men before and I have traumas. That's damage. You got a car that's been in an accident and it would not pass inspection.
But he said he understood.
All right, you keep talking like you can talk or rationalize your way through it. He left you. Period. See, this is what I mean. Ladies do not deal with reality well. This is why men have to deal with rejection often. But when you ladies get rejected or left, it's like the world is supposed. Look, ma'am, he dated you. He gave you an opportunity. He wanted to have sex. You didn't want to jump into bed. He didn't. He dated you for a month and some change, and then decided, you know what? I don't want to keep doing this. That's his right. If you decide to leave, you can do it too. He doesn't owe you anything. You're not married. You've known him for a month. And now you're going to make him, well, you said you would do such and so forth. You sound crazy.
But you do think that he's a coward for breaking up with me via text message instead of trying to talk to me on the phone?
No, if this conversation is any indication, I retract that. I think it was smart. If this conversation is any indication, I think he should have got away from you as cleanly as possible.
Remember when I said maybe this guy is not the right guy for her? Now I'm getting convinced that she is not the right woman for him. And this is the brilliance of Mr. Samuels. He has this ability to turn the tables around so fast. Your head spins when you suddenly realize, if I really think deeply about this, maybe it's not the man the problem. Because you see, the cover story, if I may use that term, is he didn't wait for me. He's not a virtuous man. But in fact, maybe the man would have waited for her had she been not so damaged. Who knows what he saw? And as Kevin is saying, if this conversation is any indication, So suddenly it's looking a little bit different, huh? The story. So yeah, wow, clever turn of events, huh? Clever turning around of the tables. Yeah, he completely spins the whole thing on its head. And suddenly you see through all the bovine manure. Wow, I have learnt a lot, actually. I didn't see this coming. Yeah, so this is why I like Kevin Samuel's videos, because we women, we are blinded to our own issues, which is perhaps to be expected, right? I am blind to certain issues that I myself might be prone to, and I sympathize with this girl's issues. In many ways, I'm probably a little bit like her in that I don't see my own damage, but who does? And for sure, I have a certain allegiance to women, even though I think I'm fair enough to, and just enough, just in the sense of fair, to see things from the man's point of view as well. I try to be fair, but even I cannot be expected to be completely fair. I do my best, but I'll be honest and say, I don't have, XY chromosomes, so I cannot see 100% things from a man's point of view, maybe 90% on a good day. So I am blind to how we women can, spin the bottle in our favor. But he doesn't stand for that kind of nonsense. He goes right through to the main issue, to the crux of the matter. And so I learn a lot. My comment is very long here, but just to, summarize it a little bit, to say I like Kevin Samuel's videos because he cuts through the crap, and gets to the point. Certainly in a much faster way than I do. And so this is why, for me, he's the GOAT, So it all becomes clear now. Interesting.
But I've not been rude to him at all. I'm being very...
Oh my God. You just went right past that. Just because you're soft-spoken does not change the fact that you will not accept he doesn't want to be there.
I don't know.
And you're not ready.
Yeah, because I don't know if he's in it for me or in it for my body.
Well, it doesn't matter anymore now, does it?
I'll make you famous.
Doesn't matter anymore now, does it? Because, ma'am, due respect, your body is not virgin. So you ladies are playing these fast and loose games with, I don't know why you're here. So what do you need a man to have? A commitment, monogamous? What needs to happen before you decide to have sex? Do you guys need to be boyfriend and girlfriend?
Well, I just need to know him on a better level. Like, I need to feel comfortable myself.
And he didn't want that. Can he make the choice? Is he free? Is he free to make the choice just like you are?
Yes.
Then accept his choice just like he'd have to accept yours.
Yes, absolutely. Mr. Samuels is right here. And the other thing that I've noticed, do you notice this too? She keeps making the point that, or making the assertion that he must have left because she didn't want to have sex with him, and not that he left because he saw crazy and ran for the hills. You see, she keeps going back to that possibility that it was because he just wanted sex. But actually, having listened to the comprehensive assessment by Mr. Samuels, we now know, we the audience now know that there is this other issue of just her being damaged. But she doesn't want to hear that, does she? And this is a little bit dishonest on her part, I have to say. So I have to say my respect for her has gone down a little bit. In all things, let's be honest. Honesty is really the best policy here, because she keeps deluding herself with this whole, I didn't want to have sex with him, so he left. It's not true. He saw something else. And that's the real reason he left. Be honest, lady, and things will work out for you. And do go to therapy.
Okay.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's like you keep pushing, and that's why I said, ma'am, counseling is a good idea, because your self-esteem, this reeks of kind of desperation, like a guy you met in January on Tinder. It ain't like he was referred to you by your pastor or by your mother. It was just you swipe left or swipe right or whatever. You're putting all this emotional attachment into somebody who you only known for less than a month or two. Really unhealthy, man. There are all kind of things that I could really kind of pull out, but I think you need to sit down with the therapist, because you're far too invested in a swipe right that was not physical. Yeah, God forbid you would have got physical with the man. What would that breakup have been like? Holy crap.
Well, that's why I'm happy I didn't give my...
No, it's not. No. See, that's the thing. You're boiling bunny crazy.
This is really starting to reek of the kind of fatal attraction character here, the bunny boiler thing. And moreover, may I say that she probably does have some sort of attachment issue. Could it be a daddy issue? I think so. But anyway, look, I don't know the story, but there is some sort of, psychological issue going on for sure. And it's not a laughing matter, of course. And in fact, it's getting sadder and sadder by the minute to hear the story. It's almost a conversation that should not be on an online video. But the fact that it is gives us insight into this kind of problem, and it's a useful teaching tool, I have to say. So, quite sad, and she shouldn't be in the dating realm right now. I think within 6 months or a year, she would be ready if she does take, either psychological or even spiritual advice. But right now, it's looking quite scary. At least if you are a man. A woman like this is not particularly emotionally able to handle the rigors of a relationship. So she's doing herself a disservice by putting herself through more trauma, because yes, a relationship to her right now would just be more trauma. Let's face it. You have to be emotionally healthy to be in a healthy relationship with someone else.
Because that means if I'd have gave it to him, then I'd have been psychotic. No, unbalanced.
Well, I am a sensitive person. So.
Okay, well then here's what you do.
I can't help that. Like, I'm a sensitive person. I can't.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, ma'am. You don't get any points for sensitivity. You're an adult. And if they're a sensitive person, then go deal with the traumas and navigate the world as it is. But you cannot make the world be what fits your sensitive patterns. I get it. And if you don't want to deal with people, people are fraught with problems. You have your own issues. And it seems to me, no disrespect, ma'am, you likely have a whole lot of things that you're dealing with. So I'm trying to be as nice as I can about this, but I don't think you're accepting the fact that maybe he left for a reason.
But doesn't he like women with standards? Don't men like women with standards? And that... who won't just like open up.
Right. Oh my God.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah. Wow. It's quite tragic, this video. And I hope that anyone watching this would see the nuances of this particular case. It's not as straightforward as it seems. You see, if she or her family and friends were to assess the relationship with this man, the story that would come out was, she's a decent girl, she didn't want to sleep with him and he left. But it's far from the truth. Obviously. Now, it's obvious to us, right? So, you know what they say, there's two sides to every story, and this is a good example of that. Anyway, so I hope you've learned something. I certainly have. And I wish you all the luck. Hopefully you can avoid women like this. And if you're a man, that is. And hopefully the women who are watching this, hopefully you are not like this. If you do have tendencies to this kind of problem that is demonstrated in this video, get some help. Get rid of it so that you are whole and are able to enjoy a good relationship with a man. All the best, all the graces, harmony, peace, and blessings to you all. Goodbye.